Keep your applause going as we welcome Wayne Bartholomew AM, Tom Carroll, Lane Beachley and Sally Fitzgibbons to the stage. Can you take us through what surfing was like when you started?
Well, I can. I mean, firstly, I'll mention that I got second to Tom in '84, and I'm just starting to deal with it now. You know, I started surfing in the mid '60s, and as we moved into the '70s, it was pretty clear that surfers had got the blame for all the atrocities in the Summer of Love. And I had a really simple vision. I wanted to walk down the main street of my hometown of Coolangatta and just have respect as a surfer. And it was a really long way because we were actually long-haired surfy louts. So it was a really long way to go, and it's been an amazing journey. You know, I mean, in those days, I remember my dad like dragging me off the beach with my hair going, "You are not going to be a long-haired surfy lout." And now we see mothers driving their children to the surf because they get it. We really rode a wave of skepticism for decades, just decades and decades. I mean, it even came down to, if I just a quick deal, just to give you an example. When I was a rarity. I was a surfer who finished high school, and I went to my father's a school teacher. I went to Armidale at the end of year 12, and I was looking at enrolling in either the University of New England or Teachers College, and we went this one Saturday morning. We went to a news agency, and he went to buy the Sportsman because he was a mad punter. And I went in the back and saw the Surf magazine had 8-page pull-out poster. There'd never been one before. I undid the tacks, and I pulled it out, and lo and behold, it was me. And it was a moment, like, it was my Blues Brothers moment. I was like, this was a message directly from God. And I put it all back, and we drove off, and Dad's, getting ready to put the bets on, and I said, "I have decided." And he said, "I know it, you're going to do the University of New England, aren't you?" And I went, "Dad, I'm going to be a professional surfer."
Surfing is, as Andrew suggested, it's a lifestyle, but it's also a profession, and it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. And I think the classic tag is "only a surfer knows the feeling," which Billabong, came out with in the 70s. And it's true, only a surfer does know the feeling, and surfing means something different for every individual. But I think the one thing that I do know about surfing is I think it's truly underestimated for what it brings to a person's life. And Tom talks about how the minute he goes into the ocean, he feels alive. For me, the ocean is my solace. It's where I do either my soul searching, or I do my problem solving, or I just go out there to rinse my mind, body and soul. The ocean is a very humbling, equalising environment. There's no judgment, there's no criticism. Once you're in the water, you're equal. And the great thing about surfing, especially getting these kids involved, is we're not getting them involved to become future world champions, we're getting them involved to become future surfers. And to realise that it's a wonderful lifestyle, it's a wonderful recreation. It's underestimated for the impact that it has in a healthy aspect as well, because it's physically rewarding, it's socially rewarding, it's physically challenging, but it keeps kids off the streets, out of unwanted pregnancies, off drugs. It gives people a focus, you feel socially accepted, and it teaches you a whole new world to be belonging to. And that's what surfing did for me, and that's what surfing can do for the masses.
I think what Andrew and Surfing Australia has been doing with the SurfCron program, and seeing the light in the kids' eyes when I've been working with them on the beach. I was there with Kelly, and just seeing those kids, the life that it brings them, going up and being involved in those days, that's the gift, that's the ocean, our beautiful coastline. And we can take that out to the world, because the one thing is what young Australians get, and I don't see anywhere else in the world, is this affinity with the ocean. And we actually feel safe in the ocean. And we go around the rest of the world, and they just go, "Whoa, I don't want to touch the ocean." We've got this amazing, it's a resource for us, and we can take it out to the rest of the world.
I think surfing's one of Australia's most unrecognised exports. Surfing's a global phenomenon. Every coastline in the world is surfed. They've found surf all over the world. There's so many charter nations in the International Surfing Association. It most definitely fits the Olympic bill, but that's not the point. The point is that we go all around the world, and all these champions that Australia's produced, all the way back from Midget Farrelly through to, as bookends to, Mick Fanning and Steph Gilmore, and all the world champions in between, and all the great Australian surfers all travel. Australians travel all over the world, and we are so known for surfing outside Australia. We go to a lot of places around the world that don't play cricket, but they know surfing. They know that surfing is synonymous with Australians. And that is something that is completely unrecognised in this country. So that's one thing that is, I think, a major value. But the other one is getting to the point where, mothers are driving their children to the surf is a really big deal, because, and I'm not talking about saying where we came from, but now in the reality, what mothers fear most and what parents fear most is bored urban youth. Because we all know where that leads. We all know what that means, and no one knows it more than mothers. And they drive their children to the surf, and as Lane and Tom said, not to be world champions, just to participate, because they know it's a lifestyle, they know it's the most beautiful, healthy lifestyle, and a wonderful pursuit, something they can do for the rest of their lives, and it gets them and keeps them off the street. I mean, really, really dedicated surfers. They really, surfers party a bit, but the thing is that, really dedicated surfers, there's a thing called the dawn patrol. The best conditions in surfing are at dawn, and I love seeing 15, 16-year-old surfers that are super dedicated, and they go to bed early because they got to be up for the dawn patrol. And that's a fact. And I'll tell you what, nothing pleases a mum more than that.
Ladies and gentlemen, does it not just make you want to go out and hit the surf right now? Please thank Wayne Bartholomew, AM, Tom Carroll, Lane Beachley and Sally Fitzgibbons.